What if the secret to unstoppable focus isn't a productivity app or life hack, but living like a Viking monk? While everyone else chases shortcuts and dopamine hits, you could be quietly building momentum that no one can stop. Take Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. This guy starts his journey as a revenge-fueled maniac, obsessed with avenging his father's death. It's all swords, blood, and definitely not what you'd call inner peace. But as he keeps battling, he has an epiphany. His biggest enemy isn't the guy with the sword. It's the chaos swirling around inside him. Thorfinn's transformation from angry Viking to wise, calm farmer is a masterclass in focus. He learns that true strength comes not from fighting harder, but from mastering his mind and silencing the distractions inside. This is the essence of unstoppable focus, staying centered on what matters, even in the most chaotic circumstances. Thorfinn's story isn't just a Viking tale, it's a blueprint for mastering focus in our modern lives. Like the Stoics, he shows us that true success doesn't come from trying to get more stuff. It's about getting rid of the noise and mastering the art of doing less, but doing it better. Today, we're breaking down how focus and self-denial can turn ordinary people into unbreakable forces. With lessons from the Stoics, Vinland Saga, and modern psychology, we'll show you how to harness unstoppable focus to build momentum in your own life. Ready to learn the Viking monk secret? The secret nobody uses: self-denial. Imagine if the secret to winning in life wasn't about doing more, but learning to want less. The ancient Stoics had a word for this: apatheia, a state of mind where you're free from the desires that control most people. Basically, it's about saying no to things that don't matter, so you can say yes to what actually does. Thorfinn's transformation in Vinland Saga is a perfect example of this. His shift from vengeance-fueled Viking to peaceful farmer costs him everything: his sense of purpose, his pride, and his old identity. But here's the thing: that choice, though it seems like the worst thing to do in the short term, is exactly what gives him freedom in the long run. Thorfinn's willingness to walk away from his old self isn't just about peace. It's about creating mental space for his true purpose. And we can do the same by cutting out distractions. And hey, even modern psychology agrees. Studies like Michel's famous 2014 study on delayed gratification show that people who can resist instant rewards are more successful in the long run. So maybe Thorfinn wasn't just being Viking dramatic when he ditched his sword and sought peace. Ever tried quitting social media for a week? At first, it's like you're missing out on some crucial knowledge, like you're out of the loop on world affairs, cat memes, and the latest drama. But by the end of it, you realize the world hasn't crumbled and your brain is a little less fried. It's like cleaning out your closet. You're not missing anything, you're just making space for what really matters. Self-denial isn't about punishing yourself. It's about getting rid of the stuff that's holding you back so you can focus on what really matters. So here's a challenge for you. Pick one distraction. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's those random YouTube rabbit holes, and cut it out for 30 days. See what happens. You might just unlock a level of focus you didn't know you had. Why most people will never build momentum. Here's the harsh truth. Most people will never build momentum because they're too busy expecting results yesterday. It all comes down to this little thing called the dopamine reward system. Every time you check your phone or binge watch a show, your brain gets a little dopamine hit. It's like a tiny party in your head. But when you're constantly chasing these quick rewards, you're teaching your brain that instant gratification is the goal. And that's the death of long-term focus. Huberman, 2023. So if you're looking for success to show up like a fast food delivery, well, you might be waiting a while. Thorfinn, on the other hand, spends years in the slave fields, rebuilding his life from scratch. Everyone else looks at him like he's some sort of Viking rock bottom, but Thorfinn doesn't care. He's quietly building momentum, little by little, without needing anyone's applause or validation. Talk about playing the long game. He doesn't get distracted by the quick win mentality. Instead, he's in it for the slow burn that leads to real transformation. Ever noticed how the gym's packed in January, but by February it looks like the set of a post-apocalyptic movie? Yeah, that's because most people quit as soon as the dopamine buzz from the New Year's resolution wears off. They're all hyped up for those first few days, but once the progress slows down, so do they. The Viking monk mentality is all about falling in love with slow, steady progress. It's about showing up every day, even when you're not seeing any results right away. Because the real secret to momentum isn't the big wins. It's the tiny wins that add up over time. Keep showing up, especially when nothing's happening. That's when the real magic starts. How isolation sharpens the mind. What if the reason you're always distracted is because you're never actually alone with your thoughts? Turns out, a little solitude might be just what you need to get your brain in gear. Research shows that even small amounts of alone time can boost focus and creativity. Long and Avril, 2003. The Stoics were big fans of this. They knew that regular isolation was the secret to sharpening the mind. Something monks, warriors, and probably your grandma have known for centuries. After all the chaos of his revenge-driven life, Thorfinn spends months alone on a farm, working in silence. No distractions, just him and the land. And guess what happens in those quiet hours? His mind starts to change. He goes from being a hothead to someone who actually understands peace. And that transformation happens in isolation. Ever notice how your best ideas pop up when you're walking by yourself without your phone buzzing every 5 seconds? Compare that to trying to come up with an original thought while scrolling through TikTok. It's in the solitude, just you and your thoughts, that the real creative magic happens. Here's a challenge. Carve out 1 hour a day when you're completely alone. No phone, no music, no distractions. You might just find that your mind sharpens in ways you never expected. The discipline loop. Discipline isn't something you have, it's something you generate. The secret most people miss is that discipline creates more discipline. One small win makes the next one easier. This is backed by research on habit loops. Duig, 2012. Thorfinn's entire redemption arc starts with small, boring tasks, carrying water buckets and digging holes. But guess what? Those small wins pile up, and suddenly he's a whole new person. Who knew manual labor could lead to enlightenment? Ever tried making your bed every morning? Sounds pointless, right? But once you do, suddenly everything else seems easier. You start the day with a tiny victory, and the next thing you know, you're on a roll. Start with one micro discipline today. One push-up, one journal entry, one distraction cut out. Do it every day for the next 30 days. You don't need to change your life overnight. Just pick that one small win and let it snowball. Because the Viking monk mentality, it's all about stacking those tiny wins until they crush everything in their path. The power of doing nothing. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is absolutely nothing. I know, sounds a bit counterintuitive, right? But hear me out. The Stoics called it ataraxia, fancy word for inner peace through stillness. Modern science calls it cognitive diffusion. Basically, it's when you let your thoughts swirl around like a storm, but you don't grab your umbrella and freak out. You just watch them. Hayes et al., 2006. Doing nothing isn't just about chilling out and binge watching your favorite show. It's about creating the mental space you need to sharpen your focus. Take Thorfinn, for example. During his farm arc, he refuses to fight. Everyone thinks he's just some weak farmer who forgot how to swing a sword. But nope, his decision isn't weakness. It's strength in disguise. In fact, while everyone else is swinging axes and yelling, it's in his stillness that he becomes stronger than all of them. And that stillness, it's what helped him finally focus on what really mattered. Ever been in an argument where you just held your tongue and watched the other person completely lose it while you stayed calm? That's the Viking monk mentality in action, staying focused in the chaos. So here's a challenge for you. Try doing absolutely nothing for 10 minutes every day. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just sit there. Your brain will try to convince you it's dying of boredom, but that's when the magic happens. You'll be amazed at how just a few minutes of silence can clear away the mental clutter and help you refocus on what really matters. The final weapon, purpose. Focus isn't enough on its own. It needs purpose to guide it. Without purpose, focus can feel like a hamster wheel, but add a sense of a mission, and you get something unstoppable. Viktor Frankl's research in Man's Search for Meaning shows that having a higher purpose makes people more resilient, even in the worst conditions. Thorfinn's entire life shifts the moment he decides his purpose is not just about revenge or peace, but about building something greater than himself, to build a world without war. That vision carries him through every hardship. Ever noticed how easy it is to wake up early when you're working on something you're passionate about, but impossible when you're just grinding for a paycheck? If you don't know your purpose yet, borrow one. Serve someone else. Build something small. Don't wait for some grand vision. Pick one small mission and go all in. Most people are trying to do more, be more, have more, but the Viking monk mentality flips the entire game. Want less, focus harder, outlast everyone. It isn't just a mindset, it's a path to something greater. Start with one thing today. Cut out one distraction. Replace it with 1 hour of purposeful, focused, isolated work. Master it, and you'll not only outlast the distractions of the world, you'll thrive in spite of them. Ready to become unstoppable?